It's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. Thank you for joining me today. It is Tuesday. We are excited. New week, moving forward, enjoying our life thus far, and trying to get through this thing we call this panini. Hope all is well with you and yours as I come to you today. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you, your time, and efforts in finding me on the channel. And for my OGs, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always standing by and making sure that you come back week after week without a fail. I greatly appreciate you. If you can, I would greatly appreciate you subscribing, commenting, sharing the video, and all that other good sorts, and all the videos on the channel, if that so fits your cup of tea, because I'd greatly love to see the channel grow and share it with others. All right, so to not at all stall on what our topic is today, I want to talk about overwhelmed and what that feels like, and some things that we can kind of do to identify who we are in our lives and what we're trying to do to accomplish that, and also what we need to do to set some better boundaries about that. So let's talk about it. When we feel overwhelmed, it's typically because we have literally bitten off more than we can chew, or we're not really setting our goals properly. I saw a meme that was talking about, you're not overwhelmed, you're lazy, and you need to set these certain boundaries. And some of the boundaries were pretty good boundaries. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say lazy. I think I would simply say overwhelmed has an idea in your brain that you just can't get started. And I don't know if I'd feel as if lazy was exactly the word that I would use, but I understood the point. And I would like to then elaborate on it with you today and just kind of go through some of the ideas on what we can do to overcome this thing called overwhelmed. Now, let me be the first to say that I sometimes feel like, even after telling you all of the things that I'm going to say today, that there is an angle and an avenue of life that still puts you in a position where you might not actually have acquired things by your own doing, but things may have fallen into your lap, which could also cause you to feel or be overwhelmed. And I still want you to rest assured that the key to any of that to start is to literally stop and assess. And that stopping and assessing doesn't mean that you need to completely just give up and not do anything, but it does make you have to really evaluate what's in front of you, right? There's no way to conquer anything, to fight anything, to overcome anything without actually assessing what the thing is. And I've always decided in my mind that I needed to stop before I felt even overwhelmed to try to figure out what exactly was happening in my mind and what I needed to do. And that typically starts with a stillness. So let's just say the number one thing to think about when you are feeling overwhelmed is, can you stop and be still for a second? Now that might sound crazy, because wouldn't stopping then cause you to not actually reach your goal? No, we're not talking about stopping for a matter of, a time frame that would actually slow down the process. We are talking about a nice deep breath moment, that aha moment. That assessment moment may be a couple of minutes, it may be a couple of seconds, it may be a couple of days. You have to be aware of that, but you definitely want to do that. That is the first thing that I would say. Secondly, I would ask myself, if I set my boundaries, am I in a position where I can honestly say that I have created a boundary of saying no to what I need to say no to and yes of what I need to say yes to? Or am I literally just worrying about the emotions and the feelings of others more so than the identity of what I can actually do within a normal sense of time? Not within a 24-hour period, but within what you would consider your work day to be. For me, my work day starts at 4:30 in the morning. It ends at 3 o'clock every day. Rain or shine, those are the times that I have put in for me to actually work. I may have what I call residual time up until about 5 o'clock, but by 5 o'clock, if it has not gotten done, if it is not turned in, then that situation is going to be absolutely pressed to something else, or it's going to be pushed off to another day for me to come back and work on it. I've done that because my time any other way absolutely doesn't function. I'm also a big proponent of knowing when to make decisions and what the time of my life is, or the time of my day that allows me to make best decisions. Past 1 o'clock on any given day, I'm not going to make a decision. I will work up until 3, possibly even 5 on an emergency. But I will not make a new decision in that. Meaning any decision that I've made, I've already made prior, and anything that happens new on that particular day has to be handled before 1 o'clock. I'm no good after 1 o'clock. Being up from 4 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning to then 1, I'm pretty much already up almost 10 hours. So at that stage, you can kind of see why I'm saying it's pretty important to make sure that I've set that boundary with myself and with others, and it allows me to put myself in a position to be efficient. Also, you heard me say how early I wake up. I do wake up early. And I would tell some people who feel overwhelmed, in order to get more time in the day, sometimes it's easier to wake up earlier and actually try to put yourself in a position where you have the time to start. You also have a quiet time to actually be able to organize and put things down in a manner where you can see them on a daily. I also will say, for the overwhelmed, you want to take the time to really organize for the day, not necessarily for the week. You have an overview for the week, but each day I like to put out what I need to do for the next day. So in the evening of Monday, I'm putting out what I'm going to do early morning on Tuesday. My day starts in meditation. No matter what, I give myself that 10 minutes because it's crucial. On a bad day or a day that I feel like I really need the extra rest, I may give myself almost 30 minutes before I'll start my work, because I know how important that is for my mind, and I know how important it is for me to actually make things work in a manner that works for me. If you can tell, the next thing that I would tell you to do is to create a routine. I'm pretty consistent, right? I'm pretty dedicated in everything I do because I come from a fitness background, and typically everything I would do fitness driven for myself would be early morning, so that I would start my endorphins and my mindset in a progression of push and ambition with cardiovascular health. I'm very, very, very on point with creating a routine. And I would tell you that if the routine is working and it is keeping you from being overwhelmed, then do it. If the routine itself is overwhelming, then we want to assess and actually make some changes, because obviously you're working against yourself if you're doing crazy stuff like that. You want to be in a position where you can literally say that this routine is something that is efficient and working for me and is not taking a lot of my mental capacity for me to do it. Nextly, you want to, again, set yourself in a position where you understand what you can and cannot do. Really, really, really be aware of what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. Because the next thing I'm going to say that you really want to work on is delegation. I am a big proponent of delegating. For a lot of years, I was not. I thought that if I didn't do it, and if I wasn't the person that was making everything happen, and if everything didn't stop at me, then, it wasn't going to be efficient and it wasn't going to be great. A little egotistical, a little self-consumed, yes, but truthfully, I just had not learned how to give the best direction to individuals for them to be able to do what it is that I need them to do for whatever the circumstances are. And in that, you allow that room for people to also figure it out for whatever works for them. Like for me, my team, I literally let my team know that I have this goal. This is the way that I would handle it. But if you have another solution, or if you have a way of working in a manner that the outcome will still be exactly what I want, then there's really no issue whatsoever, because I'm going to feel as if you're still able to accomplish the goal. And truthfully, for me, it is the goal. How do we do that? We write it down and we adhere to deadlines. That's the last thing that I'm going to tell you. You want to make sure that you're writing things down. I know. We all have this thing called memory. We all want to play this game like we can really memorize it. And sometimes we even find our way back to not using the list or writing things down because we can't find it. Use this thing called a smartphone. Typically, everyone's phone right now is over $1,000. There's a section in it called notes. There's also calendars on your phone. There's also software and applications that you can use that will sync up between all of your devices in order to keep you on task. Writing things down and adhering to the deadlines. Don't just write it down, but actually put yourself in a position where you are paying attention to what the deadline is, will absolutely help you with feeling or being overwhelmed. You want to do that to the best of your ability. You want to do that to the best of your ability every day, all day, because I promise you, structure is everything. And if you can put yourself in that position where you feel some sense of structure, you will absolutely get a better understanding of when you're feeling overwhelmed with some type of precautionary steps in place. Meaning, as you're starting to feel the overwhelmness consume you, you'll actually be able to lean back on some of the things that I just said. Now, don't get me wrong. Overwhelmed is literally not something that you can guarantee yourself with the steps that I just gave you that you'll be able to just forego altogether. But what it does allow you to do is to, again, feel as if you're not able to combat it, or if you're not able to solidify or come up with some type of solution in regards to it. Now, with that being said, I do want you to know that it is very, very important for you to understand all of your identities in the world. We typically all have different characteristics for different people. Some of us are moms, some of us are dads. Meaning we're sisters, we're aunts, we're daughters. We hold different capacities. You have to be honest and open with everyone in your team, everyone in your clique, everyone in your family with things that you can and cannot do. You have to be open. You have to be honest. So in that, I'm going to say that in order for you to really not be overwhelmed is that you really have to assess yourself on a daily to figure out what's really working for you, because things change, right? Circumstances change, people change, situations are going to change. So even with everything that I just said, you may get thrown some type of a wrench and completely fall off kilter on what it is. So the caveat is really understanding that the 3 things that I tell you to do on this channel after every single spew of words that I give is 3 things. Live life authentic. If you understand that, then you would then be able to see and hear what I'm saying in regards to everything starts and ends with you. Everything you do is you first, no matter how you want to flip it. If you love you, you'll love others. If you're organized for others. If you are delegating within, you'll learn to delegate with others. And what I basically mean is really keeping that assessment of living your life in an authentic manner to really know who you are every single day, to know what you can and cannot do, to always stop yourself from the overwhelming feeling. So, as always, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to say, I hope that you hear those words and can use some of those tips that I gave. And I'm going to reiterate, live life authentic. I believe in you. I need you to believe in you, and for you to put yourself in a position where you understand you are everything and you are important, not only to yourself, but to others. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate you, your time, and your effort. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button so that you don't miss any video, and I will gladly see you on Thursday. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.